Welcome back to Chasing Whiskey. I'm Terry.
I'm James.
We have a couple glasses, and this week we are still in our tour, Scotland, and we decided this week to go to Speyside.
Speyside.
So I grabbed us Benromach. What do you think, James?
That's a pretty attractive presentation.
Yeah, I like the box. And look at this. I don't know if you can tell. It's hard to see.
It's embossed.
It's embossed. The box is even embossed. We usually get excited about the bottle being embossed.
The classic Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey.
There you go.
I am looking forward to seeing how attractive the bottle is.
All right, I'll get into it. Might as well. Oh, very nice.
Second or third favorite part right here.
You keep saying first last time, but here we go.
Ooh.
There we go.
It's a good looking bottle.
It is a very good looking bottle.
What's the front look like here? Okay.
What do you think of the color in the glass in the bottle?
Color looks like whiskey. That's what the bottle looks like.
I like it. It's a bit dark, but I think I don't know if it's the packaging that makes it look like that. But what do you think of the handwritten font in the front and stuff like that? You like that?
I don't know. It's kind of feels to me, remember when they use Comic Sans?
Yeah. It's a little better than that, but it's not the same as embossment. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, come on, you gotta emboss your bottle. It's a good looking bottle.
But it is nice. A little still shape at the top is nice.
Yes.
What do you say we pour us a dram?
Yes,
and
please.
See what it's like. All right. I'm excited. Nice.
Very satisfying.
Satisfying pop.
Pop.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a bad job peeling off the top, but all right.
Very nice. It's not as clear as some of the whiskeys we've had.
Is that because it's just a little darker, do you think?
It's definitely darker. It looks clearer in the bottle than it does in the glass. Now maybe that's a glass, but
You got the dirty glass again?
maybe. Smoky.
Smoky for sure, yeah, and maybe even a bit nutty. Do you smell a bit of nut?
I don't get the nuts.
Sorry.
Definitely smoky though.
Yeah, it's smoky for sure.
That's the first for me. Yeah, we're trying to pull out the notes.
It definitely.
There's peat in this.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit peaty, I think. Yeah.
Which is interesting because
we've been avoiding it somewhat.
We've been avoiding peat because we know peat's not our thing yet. But this will be interesting to see what this tastes like now that we've got some experience behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything? Should we give it a taste?
Oh, that's very nice. So
it is nice.
I appreciate the peat now.
Oh, the smell of the peat is great. What do you think?
Okay, so we'll go straight here. Cheers.
Well, that's very different than everything else we've had. And it's not a lawn in your face, but there is an earthiness to it. That's nice.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's very different than what we've had.
That's the first.
It's smoky for sure. The smoke is strong.
The smoke is still smoking on the way down.
Oh yeah.
And I can still taste the smoke.
Yeah.
Even after this is different. This is the most interesting taste I think we've had.
It's so different than everything else we've had. So this is a Speyside whiskey, which brings us to the question of the week. We're gonna talk about the region. So James was gonna look up Speyside. Why don't you give us a lesson while I sit here and enjoy myself?
You enjoy that. I need to take one more. This is such an incredible.
It's very different from everything else we've had. It's very
the
different.
smell and the taste.
Yeah,
it blends perfectly.
Yeah, it's a smoky with a hint of earthiness, which I guess is peat. But I've had peat that are just like a lawn on the side of your face, and I didn't like it. This is nice.
Slapping you in the side of the head with a sod.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that.
No, this is I like peat.
If that's what this is.
We think this is peat.
It's earthy for sure and smoky.
Okay, so Speyside is
an
interesting location in the Scotch world within Scotland. It's actually part of the Highlands, sort of.
Geographically, right. We said that last week, yeah.
But there's such a concentration of distilleries that it's become its own region, and it's recognized in their legislation as their own protected region. So
it's not just the whiskey community; it's actually mandated by.
Yeah, it's a very prominent place of Scotland. It accounts for 50% of whiskey production in Scotland.
Wow.
Yep, it's got the highest concentration of distilleries, and there's around 50 in Speyside, in this kind of small area.
I remember that when we talked about the regions, it's a pretty small area, really.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the smallest region. There are tiny regions as well, but it's small considering there's 50.
And interestingly enough, we'd love to visit. Mm-hmm. And tourism is a big part of Speyside. Tourism has grown up. The transportation there, the added railroads, and that actually contributed to bringing in raw materials for whiskey. Very
export as well, probably.
Yeah. Okay. And very difficult way of life, but all of these wonderful distilleries grew up there. The River Spey runs through it, which is the heaviest or hardest running river in Scotland, and
lots of fresh water.
Several of the top distilleries in the world are actually in Speyside. So Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, I forget the third one. Balvenie there. But between Glenlivet and Glenfiddich, I think they're the top two.
In terms of volume, yeah.
And did you know this? Glen actually means valley.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So all of these whiskeys that have Glen something, that's why.
So they're named after valleys in the area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And small glens.
Okay.
Yes.
Small valleys. Okay, that's cool.
So
that makes sense, because I heard a bit about people using the word Glenlivet, and they happen to go after the brand.
Yeah, and other distilleries were still using Glenlivet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they weren't.
So it wasn't a brand at
Glenlivet.
first; it was just an area.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
So that's a little bit about Speyside.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, what tasting notes are you pulling out of
smoke. Smoke and a bit of earthiness, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if that's peat or if that's...
It's a sweet.
There's some
smoke.
Sweetness, yeah. It's not overly sweet, but there's some sweet there for sure. There's a tiny bit, like, the more I sit here and as I bring the glass in close, I can smell a bit of fruit, but it's like a little berry fruit, like a raspberry or something like that. It's not...
Yeah, it's subtle, not like very pleasant.
Yeah, it's not like a citrus or anything strong, like a pear or an apple.
It's a perfect blend for the smoke.
It's very nice. Yeah, I would agree completely. Very different from what we've had before.
And how about finish, like the profile?
Smoke.
Yeah, I get a smoothness, like straight through smooth, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
With this after smoke coming up.
Yeah. No, it's excellent.
And even in the aftertaste, as I'm swallowing, I get the smoke up my. I can almost smell it in my nose.
Yeah, it's very different from what we've had, and I'm liking it a lot.
I feel like I've learned a
completely new category of whiskey. Yeah, I agree. Benromach, actually, I did a little bit of research on them. They used to actually produce whiskeys for other companies that would make blended whiskeys. And in the early 90s, it was bought by a new family.
Yes.
And this new family's goal was to create a single malt Scotch. And so they, rebranded, repackaged, started, putting aside their own Scotch as a single malt and started bottling 3 or 4 years later. So it's actually relatively young in terms of actually having a Benromach whiskey. But Benromach itself as a distillery has been around since 1923 or something like that, or 1893, something around there. So very old distillery, but in terms of a Benromach actual single malt Scotch, it's since the early 90s.
This opens a whole new world for me where if I'm considering a collection at home,
You need something smoky, and this is great for that.
this is
Absolutely. And we're going to have a collection here and at home, each with 20 bottles by the time we're done this. Do you think we should finish this up and see if we can throw some water in and see if it changes it?
yes.
I don't think we want to change it, but that's our process, right? For now. You're as shocked as I am.
What I notice on this is probably the first that I almost let it play on my tongue before I swallow, because it is so, there's so much going on in there, and you get that smoke. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, let's do it up again, add some water, and see where we think. Sit. You want to grab the water there?
Nice. The smoke.
I know, it's great. It's really great. And very different. I'm pleasantly surprised.
All right, tasting notes. What are you tasting? Sweet.
It's sweet,
You
and it's...
mentioned berries.
I smell berries. I certainly don't taste a berry, but I smell just a bit of a small berry. But there's a sweetness there, and it reminds me of a... I don't want to say caramel, but
I don't get it.
It's a sweetness, but it's like a... I don't know what it is from a sweetness. Like it's...
All right, let's read the bottle. Delicious forest fruits.
Hey,
That's a
is
berry.
a raspberry a forest fruit? It is now.
Is it berry fruit? I think so.
I don't know. Well, actually, what a fruit is and what a fruit isn't is
And
not the
creamy
same.
malt. I can see how this could be described as creamy.
It's creamy for sure. Yeah, there's certainly you were saying smooth. I think it
Yeah.
feels that creaminess for
and
sure.
a wisp of smoke.
If that's
I
a
don't know.
wisp, wisp maybe our cutoff.
And don't get me wrong, this is incredible smoke.
It's the smokiest thing we've tried.
Right.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to get the hammer club over the head smoke.
Yeah, we'll end up with a smoky, peaty, fresh cut lawn sometime.
And a lingering, luscious sherry note.
Sherry. That's the
sweet.
sweetness. That's what it is. I was trying to figure out what the sweetness was. That's exactly what it is.
Yes, I need to... Oh, we need to open this up.
A little bit of water. It didn't
A
take
little
much.
water.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Changed it a little. I think I prefer the other way, but we usually say that, and then about 3 sips later, we find we like it. What do you think?
It's mellowed it out.
It has mellowed it out. I can smell it more.
It's 43%.
Like the smell of the berry is actually stronger now to
It
me.
feels like I'm at a campfire, and I love it.
Yeah, the smoke is still there. The berry's more pronounced with the water. But yeah, it's excellent.
That's going to be a contender.
Did you find the water make it a little bit, what's the word? Like it makes it change harsher? Like it's smooth the first time. This time it's like, and you and I kind of like that
I like
every now and then.
I like the bitterness in my whiskey, or like the harshness.
Every now and then. I think the water made the profile change just a bit at the end, right before you swallow. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
It was a little smoother before, wasn't it? And now it ramps up harder.
And probably just because it was all high.
And now it's low and
it's-
then high, maybe. Yeah. But it's good.
I prefer the aftertaste without the water.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't disagree.
Which is interesting that the water actually changes a portion.
A different portion. Yeah, it changed the nose a bit.
Yeah.
It changed it. I wouldn't say it changed the palate, but it changed the experience of the palate.
Yep.
And then it changed the finish for sure. Yeah.
And I love the peat.
But it was good both ways.
Love the peat.
Yeah, no, it's good. If that's...
What's our question for next week?
Well, we're still in Speyside.
Okay, so we have to do another. So it's my turn. Oh, wait. We forgot the most important part.
What?
Would you buy this again? So I guess the question is to me, because you bought it.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know
have
how
no
much
idea.
it cost.
You have no idea. I think we're both raving over it, so I think the answer I know. But what's your answer? Real answer?
Absolutely, and I'm not sure I care. I shouldn't say care what it
Well,
costs.
yeah,
but
we never. I shouldn't say never. We have
we
yet
haven't
to
go
go
over
100. So Canadian.
and that's
dollars.
Canadian, which is like $5. So how much did it cost?
It was $71.50 or $71.25, something
so
like that. So it's a little high on the.
It's on the high end of our collection.
So far, what we bought, we bought one or two in the 70 range, but this is up there, yeah. But it certainly, to me, it deserves a place in my collection, and I would buy it again.
And it's interesting that the collection that I have picking out from what we've tried is all around that $70 mark.
Yeah, I've got the Bushmills in there. That's 42, right? But yes, I agree.
But you're cheap.
I am. I like a good stuff.
I like the Bushmills. That was my second choice. The last 10. Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good. So yeah, so I think we both buy it again. That's for sure. I might buy it on the way home.
I love it so much. I would buy the company. This is fantastic.
Someone did in the 90s, right? So
this is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really good. So next week, so we're still in Speyside. We learned a bit about Speyside today. Do you think we should learn a little bit more about Speyside?
Tell us a little more.
Oh, you want me digging?
Plan the trip.
Oh,
where
should we go? What should we do? Where would we go? Okay, that is actually interesting. Okay, well, I'll try to do that. I'll do a bit of research on if we were going to do a tour of Speyside, how would that tour play out, and where should we go? That's very interesting.
That's the first whiskey where I get more taste, more enjoyment by just swishing it around and enjoying it.
Yeah, it's very unique. And
it
may be very common. We don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I hear ya.
That is incredible.
It's very good. Well, I think you should pour us one more dram.
Okay.
And we should say goodbye to these lovely folks. What do you think? That's good.
That is fantastic.
It is. It really is.
Wow.
All right. Give us one more hit.
This is one of my favorites.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see if there's anything else in the back here that's different. Not much different. Using the finest natural ingredients, our distillers orchestrate every second of the distillation process. There are no shortcuts to perfection. Every cask is hand-filled and hand-weighed and hand-stamped.
I like the peat.
Before maturing for many years in our traditional dunnage warehouses. Why do we make it this way? Because it creates a gorgeous classic Speyside character, beautifully balanced with a light touch of smoke. There you go.
And you know what?
Yeah.
For people like us that would be like, I don't like peat. Oh yeah? Try this.
Well, is it peaty or is it just smoky? We'll have to look up other drinkers to see what their reviews are.
That's got to be peat.
There's earthiness to it for sure, yeah. But again, I've had a peaty Scotch that I hated.
I know, but this is your entry level to peat.
Not
an entry whiskey. This is top shelf, possibly.
Well, it's up there.
We'll have to see. Join us for the next 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you had this? If you have, what do you think of it? Would you buy it again?
Would you buy it? Subscribe, comment, like.
Yeah. Smash that button.
By the way, that red shirt is fantastic. Nice shirt.
Well, thank you very much. What are you wearing for a watch?
Same thing.
James sent me a link to a blue one. Anyway.
And he didn't do it.
Oh, it's in the basket still. Anyway. Yeah.
So, very worthy. I'll be making my notes in my notebook and we will revisit you soon.
Absolutely. That is absolutely delicious.
That's a great looking collection.
It is a great looking collection. All right, let's say goodbye to these lovely folks. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
See you next week.